The culture here is funky, it's fun. I think we care a lot about each other and the world around us, so I fit in good here. I like it here.
Whenever we have visitors, they inevitably stop by my office and tell me how it just feels different here. And that's always gratifying. We work hard at that culture too. We're very deliberate about it.
Everyone understands the values in our organization and how important environmental stewardship is to the company. It's part of our core values.
In 2006, we kind of documented our values and our greater good business model so we could have a compass to follow. And so in fiscal 10, I think some of the things that we did about culture were specifically launching the Live the Greater Good program.
So Live the Greater Good is a Burt's Bees program where we have 100% employee engagement. There's 4 modules that we have to complete each year on outreach, on wellness, world-class leadership, and the environment. So I did 4 modules last year, and they're tied into just our culture and what we do here. And then this year I'm a team captain. That means that I have probably about 20 or 25 people. I just have to make sure they get to the right place at the right time and complete all 4 modules by the end of the fiscal year.
And that was our way to let every employee get to participate in our culture. We had gotten some feedback that depending on your role in the organization and your flexibility and schedule, you may not be able to participate. So we needed to figure out a way to do that.
The 100% employee engagement goal and what that means to us as a company and to me personally as an employee of Burt's Bees is that it shows that the company cares about sustainability of the environment as well as educating their employees on sustainability. It also details how important it is to the company as a whole by requiring that 100% employee engagement.
We actually assess our culture each year through a culture survey, and we've learned that actually as our culture scores go up, which is all about the greater good business model for us, our actually employee retention also goes up. Therefore, another way to say that is we have less turnover of employees when our culture is high. And so we've spent, again, a lot of time and energy to try to get that right.
I like doing the employee survey because it gives you a chance to express yourself. You can tell about the good stuff, the bad stuff, what need to be changed, what could be changed. And they really look at it and listen.
And it gives people the opportunity to participate and let the company know things that could be changed or things they could do better. And it gives us an opportunity to give our opinion of things that the managers might not know that could be done in a better way. I've seen improvement since we've been doing that, and I think it's a good thing to continue doing that.
We actually have 2 different surveys that we use. One is referred to as a culture survey that helps us monitor things like pace of change or decision making or management practices. We actually say that that's a bit of our associates' scorecard of management. This year actually, in the early part of the year, we conducted our survey and our scores actually slightly dipped. 2 areas predominantly. One is management's communication and the other is pace of change, and we know that they're related. And so we know with the growth of the company, the changes we're experiencing, if we don't communicate well during those time periods, we can lose people. They aren't sure where we're going and why. So we seeing those results, reacted very quickly then, and we think that the Live the Greater Good program, getting everybody involved and engaged, was a way that we were actually able to get people reconnected to our values.
One of the struggles is in any company is communication, and I feel that there has been definite improvement in that, and also cross-departmental communication, even just ways of working with other departments. There's definitely been improvement because it really provides opportunities to create action teams and to improve those relationships.
So in addition to a culture survey of our employees that might talk about traditional things like decision making or pace of change, we also conduct what we refer to as a Green Day survey. And we were very fortunate that actually 2 of our Eco-Bees 4 years ago decided we should look at what are the green practices that somebody does each and every day, and then how could we impact or influence that. Types of questions in the survey are actually things like, has a program or process or something you've learned at work impacted you at home? Have you taught a relative that? Have you changed your practices? Do you recycle more? Do you use different light bulbs, for example, things like that. And so we've been able to use that survey each year to monitor, again, how much an associate has grown in their practices at home and how much they have maybe influenced their neighbors or relatives, and then again, how much our programming has influenced that. So one of the reinforcing systems we have for our culture is actually our short-term incentive. All of our associates are eligible for a bonus or short-term incentive based on company performance. And like most companies, there are sales and profit metrics, but what's unique to us is the fact that we have a sustainability component of that, and we also have individual performance against that. And in sustainability, that changes every year depending on what we're focusing on, but last year we had elements around water usage, electricity, items like that.
If we just had sustainability goals but didn't put forth the effort to ensure that we achieved 100% employee engagement, or that it wasn't dictated down from management and that management was behind it, I don't think we would have as much enthusiasm and really feel like it's as important as our day-to-day work.
Having an initiative and having it compliant or everyone participating it wholeheartedly are two different things. So I think by having this initiative tied to a bonus is one of the good things that we do at the company, so everybody is kind of conscious that they would have to do something, because at the end of it everybody is looking at the paycheck and the bonus at the end of the fiscal year. So now your initiatives and your activities are so closely tied in, and I think it's a credible thing for the company to do.
Each year we select the metrics based on which programming we need to reinforce or get attention to, and they're all tied to our ultimate goals for 2020. So one of the things that we implemented several years ago were actually what we refer to as eco-benefits. And there are several of them. One is around fuel-efficient vehicles, the other is around carpooling and just some preferred parking, the other is around electricity offsets. And in each of those cases, we use them as a way to educate employees about maybe new practices or things that they weren't familiar with, and then hoped that it would change their work or lifestyle. And I think we've found that to be the case. Again, the Green Day survey helps us understand if that has actually moved or improved, and we see on each of those topics that we have fewer people driving alone, and we have more people, for example, thinking about electricity offsets for their home usage. So one of the programs that we implemented was actually a subsidy for folks that considered buying a hybrid vehicle or other low emission vehicles. It really was as simple as if they made the purchase, they kind of came in, signed a form, told us, and we gave them a reimbursement. But it did show the fact that we were supportive of those efforts.
I drive a hybrid, something that I was seriously considering purchasing, but had a nice incentive in that Burt's Bees does offer an incentive, a subsidy to encourage the purchase of fuel-efficient vehicles, and that was something that helped to certainly spur me along in making that decision and make the actual commitment to buy a hybrid vehicle. I think it's great. I mean, I think it really demonstrates the company is truly committed to those benefits, and it's not just about kind of how it impacts our day-to-day business aspect, but also about how we're able to carry that through into our personal lives, and when we leave the doors at night, it really is a way for us to continue living those values outside of these doors.
So each of the eco-benefits that we pulled together probably appealed to a different person, but they were all related to reducing our carbon footprint as consumers or individuals, as well as a company, from a company perspective too.
Tonight we're going to do a third chakra practice.
So we've always felt that wellness, our well-being of our associates, fit right into the model really perfectly. And we actually have an occupational nurse that helps us with programming. This week, in fact, she's actually doing a campaign we call the Know Your Numbers campaign. And so she's actually spending time with each individual to help them learn about their BMI or their blood pressure, other numbers, and then hopefully encouraging them to look at behavioral changes to improve those. So people are usually really impressed when I tell them that all our associates receive a performance review, and that actually sums up a year. The year itself actually starts with setting objectives by individual and role. We have a mid-year check-in, and then we actually end the year with that final performance review. And we take it really seriously. So We set deadlines that say all objectives need to be set about a month into the year, and if those aren't on file, then you're not eligible for your short-term incentive. So there's some teeth behind it, and so obviously we, of course, get them all in for everyone. And really the biggest part of that is actually making sure people get feedback throughout the year. So there's no surprises. We're very transparent about expectations and then how you're delivering against expectations. The wonderful part about our parent company, Clorox, is that they love the brand as much as we do. And so they've worked hard to give us freedoms to make sure we don't change the special parts of the company. As I reflected on fiscal 10, the biggest changes for us were inevitable for us as part of our growth as the company. But those are the places that the Clorox company is helping us too. So we were entrepreneurial and I say kind of process averse in some ways. We got things done in the hallway or pretty casual. But what that meant was we really didn't have repeatable routines. And as you grow as a company, we know we need to get those reliable processes and routines established. And that was actually one of the things that our parent company was actually quite good at. So we're working on establishing processes and routines for the company so that when we grow and as we continue to grow, we're able to keep up with the pace of that growth. And they've been very helpful to us in providing resources, skills, tools, things like that to make that work.